I'm recording. So, hello everyone. Welcome to the DreamCRU April all-team call. We got some of the team here. We got to get more folks here going forward. But I'm so happy that you guys are here. Tina, your name looks funny. That's okay. Anyway, I'm super happy to see you guys. Thanks for being here. This call will probably be a little shorter than typical because there are so few of us. And most of you are going to know a lot of the stuff that I'm going to talk about because you are dialed in. But let's first introduce, my name is Lori Probsdorfer. I am the mom of the DreamCRU. So I'm your mom, your grandma, your great-grandma, your great-great, blah, la, 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 la. We're all one big happy family. And I'm going to actually ask Kaz to introduce herself, and Jamie, I'm going to ask you to introduce yourself. These are the leaders that are, and Taritha, the leaders that are on the call right now. So Kaz, go.
Okay. Hello, everyone. I'm Kaz Alot. I live in Littleton, Colorado, so just about, 25 minutes away from Lori. We get to do our in-person Colorado meetings together, which is super fun. I've been with One Hope since 2015, so November of 2015, and I head up the Givers and Tasters, the G&Ts, and I'm going to shout out Kim Smith, Erica White, and I have seen May coming and going.
May's come in a couple times.
All right, yeah, for being on the call tonight. Well done, ladies.
Hey.
Those that show up, go up.
That's right. Thanks, Kaz. Okay, Taritha, go.
Hi, I'm Taritha Arkansas Jones. I'm from Dallas, Texas. Woohoo! I'm originally from Louisiana. I'm a lead director. I have the Sophisticated Sippers team. I joined One Hope Valentine 3 years ago, and I love everything I do.
Yay. Thanks, dear. I appreciate it. All right, Miss Jamie, go.
Awesome. Jamie Bowers here in Columbus, Ohio area. Been with One Hope. Well, let's see, I was an ambassador client for 3 years of Aaron Barrett's, and then I became cause entrepreneur for a little over 3 years now. So I'm the director and love the adventure and journey. And Kaz, I love that you were vanning all the bags and everything because I love incentives.
So pretty.
Yay. I love an incentive too. Let me tell you what.
I should have done it on the recording.
What?
I should have done it here on the recording, I guess.
Oh, well, you can do a little video and post it on the team page. So just quickly, I'm going to run through our recognition because a lot of the folks that are on this list are actually on this call. So as a team, as I mentioned, our team is enormous. It's in numbers, we have just over 8,000 folks on our team. So it encompasses all of the teams that you just heard about and several more. So I want to acknowledge that this is a big team effort. Lots and lots of people are contributing to this. But together we generated over $27,000 in local donations in March. So that's 1 month, you guys. And that's incredible. And what I wanted to ask, I'm going to point you out, and if you're unable to talk, that's fine. But I'm going to ask Angie, what was your favorite organization that you raised money for in March?
In March, let's see, what did I raise? I did one of my favorite ones that I always, if I have hostesses that just don't know what they want to raise money for, I give them Paw Partners Unleashed, and they are an organization here in the Valley in Las Vegas that they raise money for over 40 plus rescues. So any of these rescues, dog, cats, bunnies, guinea pigs, horses, pigs, whatever, they call them up and say, hey, we need this, and then they get it for them. So that's one of my go-tos.
Awesome. Thank you. See, I had never heard of it. This is kind of why I like to do this, because I'm going to hear about things I've never heard of. Tina, why don't you tell us, what was your favorite thing that you raised money for last month?
My tasting I had on Friday was for Chance for Hope, which is a local family in Pearland, Texas, that lost their son to brain cancer several years ago and started a foundation. His name was Chance. And so it's called Chance for Hope. And they buy up condos in the Texas Medical Center here for families who have children at MD Anderson or Texas Children's Hospital for them to stay at free of charge.
Oh,
And they buy up gift cards and Visa cards and meal cards and to give to families at the hospitals.
that's awesome. That's awesome. Thank you. Super cool. All right, Kim Smith.
Unmute. Okay. So my big fundraiser this month was for Hope of the Grand Valley. And it is a leg up, not a handout. So they help families that are right on the cusp find jobs, get in housing, get food for the kiddos, clothes for the kiddos. So it's a great organization here in the Valley, and that's who I raised money for this month.
Yay. What I love about all of those is that they're local. I mean, it sounds like Angie, yours does more of a national give back maybe, but that's my favorite, right? It's in your neighborhood. You're impacting the Grand Valley, right? Like that's your neighborhood, you know, so that makes me so happy. So thanks for sharing. I love to highlight that kind of stuff. So if you have a cause that you've raised money for that you'd like to highlight, post it in the Dream Crew, go in and talk about it and how fun it was and how much you raised. If it was $36 or $360, it doesn't matter. Shout it out because it's also information for people who might live in your area. I tell people a lot. Now, I used to be a deacon at my church, and what we did as deacons was refer people for help. Right? I'm not a deacon, I haven't been a deacon for a really long time. So if that's confusing for you, I understand. But anyway, I would hear about these organizations as I was doing tastings, and man, that would go right on the list, right? As a possible support for somebody who might come to us for something. So I just think we should be shouting out these great organizations that do so much with so little. Okay, so I went off on a little tangent there. I'm going to just do the highlights. 197 people in our organization qualified their businesses in March, and that means they did at least $300 in PCV. 38 people gave themselves a pay raise, which by the way is $1,500 PCV, which also happens to be director level PCV. So if you were going for that and you were on that list, you're on your way. Top in sales. This is always a big fun thing to do. Number 10, Alyssa Marland with 4,075. Charla Schaefer with 4,075. Number 8, Sweet Jade over there with 4,950. And this girl has earned all of the level 1, level 2, level 3, if I'm not mistaken, level 4. And she's hustling to get Brent, you could tell there, that's her partner, on the trip with her. So that's really exciting. Let's see, Jill Hansen, who I think is working tonight with 4,472. And I know that Jill is close to the beach. Kaz Alot with 4,524. She's got the beach, some cash. Does Michael have a playmate yet? Not quite. Okay. She's real close. Kaz's husband and my husband do what we call parallel play when we go on these trips. Anyway, Lori Archer with 5,296. Erin Barrett, who's laying on a beach right now with 5,616. And she's got her seat on the beach. Sweet Jamie Bowers with 6,061. And don't tell anybody yet, but she's got her seat on the beach. But the reports haven't updated, so I can't announce it. She's on the beach, so yay! Good job, Jamie. And the fabulous Andrea Engelhart with 7,461 PCV. So that's pretty, and she's another one who She may have gotten her seat on the beach with that. I'm not sure. We'll find out soon when the reports update. It'll be so fun. Okay. So, I'm looking around here and it looks like I was going to go through a crush run through, but I think I'm not going to do that on this call because there's a couple of you that are not registered for crush and that might be boring for you. But we have just over 80 people from this team registered for crush. So we're going to have a nice big crew, super fun. I know a lot of you have been to crush, a lot of you have not. Thanks, Jamie. It's just the best. I don't even know what to tell you. I'm super excited. Jamie did this because we have t-shirts. I'll bump that link back up. It's probably you still have plenty of time probably to get your t-shirt. There was a tank and a tee. I got both because I'm excessive like that. I can't decide, so I just get them both. And the prices were great. I think it was the tank was like $13. So be sure to grab one. You don't have to be going to Crush to get one. They're going to be really cute. It's a great way to advertise your business. It's a teammate who made the shirts, so you're also supporting another small business. So get your t-shirt.
I think it would be great to just like go through Crush real quick for not only the people that are on the call, but they're recording.
My stuff was like, if you're going to Crush, these are things that you should know. Get a Crush buddy. Start now. Find somebody that you don't know and start talking, or find somebody that you do know right now. Just get a Crush buddy. Have somebody that you're excited to see that you haven't seen in a long time or maybe ever. At Crush, please get to know some people that you don't know. You'll see a theme here, but it's really important because these are the people that will support you 3, 5, 7 years from now because you have a bond, because you met them at Crush and you had a great experience together. So find somebody to connect with. Set an intention going into Crush. What is your intention? Right? What do you want to experience personal growth? Do you want to map out the next 3 months? Whatever it is. I mean, it's going to be your intention, but set an intention going into Crush so that you walk in the door going, okay, this is what I want to accomplish. And then when you've accomplished that, you're going to feel so good. You got that. You're going to get so much out of Crush. I can't even tell you. Pay attention. It's really tempting to be sitting at a table with your girlies and chatting or being on your phone. And we all do it. We all do it. But there's a lot of great content coming for you in Crush. People spent a lot of time putting it together. Pay attention. Take notes. Just absorb the information that's being given to you. Some of it will be, academic, not really, but you know what I mean? Like more, taking notes, but some of it will be internal and some of it will be personal growth and some of it will move you. And remember those things and pay close attention because you are setting the table for the next year until we go back to Crush again, right? So there's so much energy. Take that energy. Remember those things. Take those notes so that in a lull, you can go, oh yeah, remember when Jake said that at Crush? Yeah, that speaks to me, right? And remember that this is an investment in you and in your business. You're not spending $5 to go to this thing, right? It wasn't cheap. So remember that and treat it as such. It's like a class that you paid for, right? So just remember that this is for your personal and professional growth. And I didn't mean to be so serious because it's really fun. And bring your dancing shoes and we're going to dance. I always say this and I think it's funny because I was a chubby girl in middle school, but I'm always like, it's like the best middle school dance party ever with no boys, right? Like you are dancing crazy because you don't care because it's just all of us, So, Kaz, Taritha, anybody, did I miss anything? Is there anything that you'd like to add to that? It was a little heavier than I had intended, but a few boys. Yeah, there's a few boys, not that many though.
Yeah, I will add, don't be intimidated by anybody. So you are going to meet the founders. You're going to meet the home office people. You're going to meet all the top leaders in the company. Don't be intimidated. Everyone is there to be your friend, to help you, to welcome you, to answer questions. So if you're in the elevator or sitting at a table with anyone, from the newest person to the longest term person, chat with them and find out, like, get their best tips. Keep a notebook and write down their best tips, or on your phone or whatever. Just like really be intentional. Like Laurie said, be really, really intentional about maximizing the time that we're there together, to get as much out of it as you can.
Yep. I love that idea. I might be cooking a little something up, but like Kaz said, keep a notebook. And, you know, this is something that my dad taught me 1,000 years ago that he learned from somebody else. You should be writing down the names of everyone you meet every day. So if you got your toes done and you met that lady next to you and her name was Sally and you struck up a conversation, write her name down. And especially at Crush, you are going to meet so many new people. Try to write their names down and remember who they are and maybe one thing about them, right? Anyway, there's more to that story. And I think it comes from a book of, I don't know what, but write everybody's name down. Okay, that's Crush. Coming up on April 13th, we have Leaders in Living Room / Sip and Share here in this house in Castle Rock, Colorado. We have 18 people registered at last count. I'm opening it to 25. Am I going to turn you away at the door? No. But I'm looking around. I don't know, Kim, you and I can talk later. I don't know what your plan is, but well, you're it, you and Cass. So anyway, if you have anybody in Colorado that you've been talking to, anybody that you think, man, my Aunt Sue lives in Littleton, maybe I'll call her. We will take care of your people. We are there to help you grow your team. So don't worry that, you know, Kim's going to steal your lead or steal your Aunt Sue or whatever. We're not. We are literally there to help every single person grow their team. So send them on over. We're going to have a great time. Cindy Brigham is coming from home office, so that will be really fun. We'll be doing a tasting, so you get to see what a tasting looks like, or modified tasting, if you will. So yeah, come on down or send your people. So there's only, what did I say? There's 6 slots left. So, or what, 5, 7 slots, whatever it is. Fill them up. And then, and I'm speaking directly to a couple of you. We're doing a Leaders in Living Rooms in Dallas, the Wednesday before Crush. There are only 5 spots left in that event. So there again, if you live in the Dallas area, you might want to go ahead and get registered and bring some folks. And once again, we're going to take good care of them. And that one will be really cool because it's going to be Laura, me, Jess, Kelly will be there. Probably Chris and Cindy. Like I don't really know, but a lot of heavy hitters and home office people and stuff will be there. So it'll be a really great time to let us help you grow your team. Okay, very, very quickly. Shipping deadline for Mother's Day is May 4th. That cute shimmer bottle, I really like it. I'll be sending it to my mom. And this is the last month for Spring Wine Club. Don't forget, Gather to Know on Tuesdays at 5 Pacific, 6 Mountain, 7 Central, 8 Eastern. Connect with a coach, you guys. This is a really cool opportunity to get some really good coaching from really high level coaches who typically only work with people at a certain level. So, and I'm talking about Chris and Cindy. So I really encourage you, if you feel stuck or if you have a teammate that you think, man, that person could really use some love or, you know, maybe a little bit more direction or that, you know, you're not connecting or whatever. Connect with the coaches Wednesdays, 10:30 Pacific, you know the rest, 11:30, 12:30, 1:30. And then Level Up Coaching is it's a unique way for you to bump up a level if that's what you're going for. My husband is doing construction in the kitchen. Did you hear that? Oh, I have to close my door. Anyway, Level Up Coaching is Mondays at 4, 5, 6, and 7. So look into those things. They're all over the Vine. You can find out more there. So those are all of the announcements. We're going to move into just a little bit of training. And you know, you've heard a lot, you guys, this is kind of our mantra these days. And that is tastings and teammates, right? Have you heard that like a billion times? That's because that's what we're about, tastings and teammates. I have asked Kaz, who is the queen of in-person tastings, to talk a little bit about why tastings are so important to our business. We, and I know you guys have heard this, but this is also being recorded, so maybe there's somebody out there who hasn't. In person is where it's at, and that's where we got to be. And Kaz is truly the OG of in-person events. So I did ask her to come on today, talk about why we do in person, how she does in person, etc. So Kaz, I yield the floor to you, my friend, and I'm going to spotlight you.
Oh, really? Okay. Hey, everyone. Kaz here. Thanks for that introduction, first of all. I'm going to keep it pretty brief because Laurie has said teammates, tastings, and teammates. We've come through a lot with COVID, and we had to do things on Zoom. We had to be able to do things online, and we still can do that. But when we get together in person, there's just a different feeling. There's a feeling of community. Everyone is just hanging out together, drinking our beautiful wine, and just seeing like their faces light up when they sip the wine and they realize like, man, this actually is really good wine. And then we can share with them the story about One Hope. We can share with them how simple a business this is. You know, we kind of joke when Laura and I first started, there was no training department, there was no resources, there was nothing. We had literally bottles of wine to pour. We read the label and we poured the wine, and we still made that successful. We still had people that wanted to book. We had people buying. We had folks that jumped in and joined us. So keep it really simple. And here's why, because when we do a wine tasting in person, we want everyone in that room to be sitting there thinking, well, I could do what she's doing. I could do that. I could make some money. I could raise money for the nonprofits that I love. I could create that income for my family. What she's doing isn't not that hard at all. I could actually do it better than she does it. That's what we want them to be thinking. We want to make it look really easy because it is really easy. And I think it can be easy for us to overcomplicate things. So just kind of keep that in mind as you're doing your tastings, that we want to keep it super simple. Everything comes to us from those in-person gatherings, from that first conversation we have with our host and kind of coaching them through how to invite, making sure that we tell her to let people know that it's not just come over to my house and drink some wine with me. There's intention behind it. We're raising money for their school, or the animal rescue down the road, or the Alzheimer's Association, whatever it is. The host usually has a passion behind that cause that they're raising money for. And we're definitely going to invite them to share that, because their friends are going to hear that passion in their voice, and like that really comes from the heart. And we want to connect with everyone's emotion, not to like fool them or hoodwink them or anything, but just to help them understand that what we do here with almost $10 million to 37,000 different nonprofits is really fun, but it's really important as well. So I'm kind of going off track here, but what it comes down to is really have fun yourself at the wine tasting. Whether you do the traditional style of wine tasting, where it's more of a intentional led wine tasting, where everyone arrives, they get a little bit of brut from us, they get a quick intro to what we're doing, and then everyone sits down and it's that presentation where we run through all of those different wines. That's what on the note cards that we have. And I would recommend using those if you do that presentation, so that the folks that are there can see, oh, well, she doesn't have to remember anything. It's all on those note cards. Again, I could do that. So if you're doing that kind of presentation, if you're doing more of the kind of mix and mingle social, then that is much more fluid. You want to be intentional about having conversations with each little group of people as you're going around the room, pouring that next wine, let them know about it. I always have a bell with me, and I ring that bell. When I want everyone's attention, I ring that bell, which says on it, ring for more wine. And so I let them know at the beginning, you're going to hear me ring the bell just to grab your attention for 2 minutes, so I can tell them a little bit about whatever it is, the specials, the wine club, the opportunity to do what I'm doing, any way that you want to do it. You don't have to do it the way that I do it. But those in-person tastings bring us sales, they bring us wine club members, they bring us bookings, they bring us new teammates. And so can we get those elsewhere? Absolutely, we can. But when we have an in-person wine tasting, all of those things are there, they're present in that space. And you've kind of got your captive audience to be able to share with them all the things that we want to share about how fantastic One Hope is. And why would you not share this with your friends? Why would you not want to be the wine lady in your neighborhood, in your circle of friends, and just reap the benefits from being part of this fantastic community? So that's kind of what I wanted to share. Anyone got any like quick questions?
I do.
Yes.
Kaz, how
Ma'am.
many tastings do you usually book at one of your tastings?
Typically, I mean, it varies. Sometimes I book none. Sometimes I book a lot more. I would say average is 2 or 3.
Yep.
Like really, truly 2 or 3.
Yep.
This month I have 9 tastings on my book. Which
and
is
she's going to be at Crush for a week.
Yeah. And so you just put them in where you can. And also I'm going for one of those top 5 spots on the vacation incentive. So I want a lot of sales and I want a lot of new team members. So big goals. But I would say, do what you can. If you can do 1 tasting a month, do that, right? If you can do a couple, do that. But do whatever you can. But get out there and get people together. Wine is social. It brings people together, as it says on our lovely video with Mari narrating. Wine brings people together. That's what we want to do. And we want to be able to offer, our job is to offer everything to everyone. Their job is to take a look at it and decide if that's something that they want to do or hear more about. And then that loops us right back to the Leaders in Living Rooms that we have coming up in Castle Rock, Colorado, and Dallas, Texas. It loops us back to the business opportunity calls that Cindy and Chris do a couple of times a month, and then also on the Wednesday happy hours. Those are all things that we can invite people to get another perspective. And it loops us back to discovery calls, right? So the discovery call is an easy conversation with someone who is interested in One Hope, wants to hear a little bit about One Hope, has questions, where I might book a discovery call with Kim for someone that I'm talking to, because Kim has a different perspective to me. So it's not necessarily that you're always going to Laurie or to me for your discovery call. You're just looking for another perspective. And then, yeah, our job is to be curious about them, find out where One Hope might fit into their life, and then invite them to join us on this journey. It was a long answer.
So I think you said 2 or 3. No, I'm just joking. Angie, do you go by Angie, right? Or do you go by Angela? Okay, I thought so, and then I got scared because it was Angela formal.
Angela is my professional name.
It's your professional name.
I live in Vegas. That doesn't sound good.
Tomorrow. That's why I was like, yeah, discovery calls. Super excited about that. Good. Thank you, Kaz. I appreciate it. And I'll tell you, this is the God's honest truth, when you get to a place of doing tastings on a regular basis, you will continue doing tastings on a regular basis. So Cass has 9 tastings this month. I know for a fact that was her choice. She could have chosen to do 4 this month. She could have chosen to do 1 this month. She has a goal that she's going for. But the point I'm trying to make is when you get into a rhythm, right? When you get that momentum, booking tastings is nothing. Literally, it's nothing. People have seen it. They had a great time. They can't wait to do a tasting. Not everybody, of course. There's always, 75% of the room that's like, please don't make eye contact. But the other 25% are like, dang, that was fun. I want to do that. So, and tastings really, truly are the lifeblood of your business. It is where you will find every single thing you need or want from this entire experience. So in that vein, thank you, Kaz, for sharing. Everybody grab a piece of paper and a pen. I'll wait. We're going to do a little exercise. So I will wait. Or yeah, if you're fancy, you can use your phone or whatever. I'm old. Use
I think it works better on paper.
I like it better on paper. It's easier. Okay. Who's done mind mapping? I know a lot of you have. Who's done mind mapping? So mind mapping is a way to stimulate your brain to think about people that you have not thought about before. The rules for mind mapping are: you do not censor yourself. You do not stop yourself. You do not think, Aunt Susie, nope, she'd never do it. You literally don't censor yourself. The goal in this exercise tonight is to find hosts. Okay, that's your goal, because that's what we're talking about, tastings and teammates. So the goal is book tastings with this exercise. Okay. All right. So we're going to mind map. I'm going to give you 7. I don't know what you, not triggers. I'm going to give you 7, whatever they're called. I don't know, things for you to think about for in each of those things. And we're going to fly through it. Okay. Don't get stuck. Just put it down and move on, and don't worry about it. For each of these things that I tell you, I want you to list 3 people that fit that category. Okay. So don't think about it. Get your head down, get your pen, write down 3 people who own dogs. Okay, 5 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1. You can go back and fill it back in, but for this exercise, we're just powering through. Okay, look, I know you're all going to be able to do 27 of these. Just give me 3 realtors, just 3. And I'm doing it too. Five, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay. 3 people. This might be a little bit harder. I might give you a little bit more time with this one. 3 people whose name starts with the letter A. And you can use your phone if you need to use your phone for this one. I would.
Sometimes your mind just goes blank. You've got so many choices, but your mind goes blank.
Yeah. And you can use last names too. That's what I just did. Okay. All right. Write down the names of 3 high school friends. Even if you talked to them before, don't censor yourself. Okay. The next one, I know that I won't find my name on your list because I'm asking you to write down the names of 3 people who are athletic or who work out. I will not be included in that. Okay, how are we doing? Still writing down a couple things. Okay, the next one, 3 people you know who are divorced. Sadly, that was a little too easy. Okay, last one. And I got to tell you, this would be really hard for me. So I'm going to have to go back. 3 people in your neighborhood. I just moved here. I literally don't know one person in my neighborhood. So I'm going to use my old neighborhood. But I am having a tasting in this neighborhood to get to know these people. Okay. As you're wrapping up, as you're writing down that last name, and if you thought of extra names, put those on there too. Hopefully, you've got some fresh folks. You should have 27 names in front of you now. That exercise took a total of about 6 minutes. So this is a really cool exercise. It's a really good way to jostle your brain a little bit and come up with some names of people that maybe you haven't spoken to, or maybe it's been a long time since you've spoken to them, but that's 27 names. So the goal for this exercise is for you to book tastings. Don't worry about anything else. Okay. So you're going to do these reach outs to reach out to these folks about booking tastings. What's important is that you have your calendar together before you pick up the phone, right? You need to know when you can do tastings. So have your calendar. I've shown this a million times, but it's worth repeating. I use a crappy little calendar that I get from Amazon, and I'll show you a better month. You see all those tabs, those are dates that I have open in May for tastings. You also see some that I have booked. Okay, so have your calendar ready. When you pick up the phone, no, and offer them 2 dates. When they say yes, have 2 dates right there. Oh, listen, oh, you want a Thursday? I can do this date or this date. Don't give them 27 dates. Don't let them get back to you with a date. Your goal is to book the tasting. Okay, so my call to action for you is if you do 5 of these a day, which is not a tremendous amount, you'll be able to do all of them in 6 days. Technically, you could squeeze a couple more in there and do it in 5. And the goal for me giving to you a goal, it's up to you, whatever your goal is. But my challenge to you is to get 4 tastings booked between now and the end of May. So that's not a tremendous amount. If you can do more, do more. But if you can book 4 tastings by the end of May, your month end and your tasting schedule is going to look completely different. than it does now if you're not doing tastings. So that would be my call to action. Do these reach outs in the next 5 days, set aside. It's not going to take long. You guys, I tell you, you can text, you can call, you can, I wouldn't say send an email because people technically usually aren't looking at those, depending on your relationship with the person. Obviously, your friend Sally from high school, if you haven't talked to her in 30 years, no, start talking to her. Like, talk to her. Don't be like, hey, remember me from 30 years ago? Okay, you guys are all young. You don't have 30-year high school friends, but I do. Build that relationship, right? But these are starting points for you. So get the tastings on the books. You guys, you're just going to feel so good about it when you do. So for tastings, yes, I agree. April ideally, to have the tastings booked all in April. But I think also by the end of May wouldn't be terrible. When you close an event with $500, with at least 3 people, you get an event kit credit. So don't let those go to waste. That's it. That's what I got for tonight. So thank you for coming. I hope this was helpful. I hope you learned something new. And I'm excited to see most of you at Crush. Yay. Cheers, everyone. I'm going to stop the recording.